welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 83. I'm of course host VIP. With him, joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome, one and all. We are back. We have returned with our catch-up marathon broadcast of WardiTV Mondays. Yesterday we were live with number 81. Today we're live with number 83. So we're slowly working through all of the WardiTV Mondays, and eventually we'll catch up. And again, the goal here is to catch up before the new patch goes live. We'll get there. We will get there. Whew. Otherwise, we have a PvZ. We're going to be jumping into our initial quarterfinals, followed by semis, followed by grand finals thereafter. That is going to be the progression, the direction of the stream overall. And again, for those that are curious, this is a weekly open tournament, typically on Mondays. Not always though. There's been multiple times where Wardy's had to reschedule, and he's hosted this event on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday. That has happened before. If you recall correctly, I believe that usually happens, one, if there's a clashing event, or there are other times where Wardy has had like Twitch front page, that's happened like 2 or 3 times. Whenever that happens, Wardy typically does kind of host his weeklies on that day just to like have content for that front page. But otherwise, we are getting into our fresh series, into our PvZ. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Winterman. Sorry, is going to be on 10,000 feet. Is going to be Classic versus Solar. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. Otherwise, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Again, we were live with the podcast yesterday, and 2 days ago now even. And later on tonight, we should be live with some more Kung Fu Cup action as well. True, the KFC. But now though, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. It is Solar. Here we go. We're jumping into our PvZ. Here we go. We're jumping into the quarterfinals, and coming into this year, Solar, he has been struggling as of late, for sure. He's been definitely having a bit of a hard time, referring to RSL, referring to GSL as well. Likewise, Classic has also actually been having a bit of a hard time, specifically in some of these other online tournaments, where we expect higher placements here from Classic. But when it comes to the premier events, has been struggling. But when it comes to the online weeklies, that's where these players do typically get more comfortable, where they thrive. And we'll see how they compare to each other, especially in the current meta, where we see a lot of aggression out of Zerg, and that's what we expect here on 10,000 feet. Again, this map is a map of extremes, where the rush distance by ground is very short. That is true. Has a shorter rush distance by ground, but the bases themselves are very defendable. They're very close together. The distance is quite short between them specifically, so it is easier to defend and to turtle up, and that's what we expect out of Classic. Again, Classic is typically more of a defensive player in this matchup. To turtle up, to defend, to build up on 2 and 3 and 4 bases, it's going to be up to Solo to stop that from happening. Oh boy. Now, something that we have seen quite a lot of from Solar, specifically on 10,000 feet, is Mutaplay. Going into a Roach Warren opener, into Mutaplay, and into Muta heavy styles. We expect that at least at one point in this series. Otherwise, these ground-based all-ins are more difficult to pull off here on 10,000 feet, unless your opponent is aggressive first. True. Which we technically could see at a Classic. Could still see. For now though, we're just joining, saturating again, Hatchcast pool, bearing in mind that this is on the base game, not in the PTR. Wardy events have not been on the PTR yet, but we're hoping that to soon change, of course. Hoping for it. Oh, that's all hands fire. True. 204 streams, baby. That's crazy. It's crazy. The watch streak is insane. Take care, baby. Take care. Again, just Stargate opener into the Oracle into a standard start. With the Adept does move out across the map, so this is a bit of a bolder move here. This can be punished. Lings that can be active, catch out the Adept, and then look to threaten the third base. It's going to be on Classic to make sure that does not happen, that it keeps the Adept alive, just threatens the bases, gets some scan information, and gets out of there. As we do have a Stalker follow-up. Tap threatening a shade. Nothing crazy yet. Once again, just poking in. And behind this soon, Classic should expand as he actually reinforces with the Stalker. Okay. Finds a stray Overlord. Bold move here by Classic. I don't think he should kill the Overlord. Yeah, in the end, the Queen will respond. Lings are amassing as well. Classic pulls away. Pulls away. Does race back home. Behind this soul has just been droning. No extra or excess Lurklings on the way. Droning, saturating, third base should soon be thrown down, and we're building him into the early to mid game. Okay. Likewise, Solar he also expands away from Classic, not towards. So it's still just droning up. Oracle's going to be hunted down. Does spot the Oracle. And this is a slightly earlier Twilight Council in Forge. Because it's a little bit earlier, this is where charge play could come into play. But just because of the size of the map as well, this might just be more of a safety precaution going into what's on the Link Stalkers. So nothing crazy yet. Oracles are being active. Hilarious on the way. Bearing in mind that there's no early Eva Chamber, so there's no +1 melee, there's no early Roach Horn either, just straight lair first. I did float the idea earlier of potential Muta play on 10,000 feet, and it's been quite common from Solar, and that's definitely still in the back of my mind at least. But we'll keep an eye on the gases. Depths recall. Depths recall back home, double Oracle into the main. And quite find a way in. But I believe Classic saw the lair. Yeah, he did see the lair timing, is aware. Aware of the early lair. You say attempt to hook in. They catch out a couple of probes. One probe so far. Lair is now finishing. Eva Chamber has been thrown down. And we're rushing into not Spire, but Hydras. Okay, the other tech choice does go for the Hydra tech. The Oracles, they will confirm. Okay, good scouting. Classic sees everything. He dives on the Queen. No transfuse. One Queen goes down, and the Oracle should get away. So nice movement here by Classic. Again, upon confirming that it is going to be Hydras, bam, we do see a Temple Archives being thrown down. We have Blink. We have +1 on the way. Working towards splash damage. So far, Classic looking good. Based on the build of choice, if Classic had gone for earlier charge, there would have been a window of opportunity to get damage done for sure. As there are no roaches or banelings. As this move out is going to be a little bit risky. Blink is not yet done. Classic hooking in. That is going to be an early infestation pit. Interesting. Get my attention. With the early pit, that can lead into early lurker tech. Lings, they attempt to counterattack. Again, the Oracles do get low. But we do focus on some Hydras. Ooh, some expensive losses. Things they finally come in. And they banned up the Stasis as well. That's going to be a lot of Stalkers going down. They're catching out 3 Stalkers. In the end, Classic, he was punished. He almost broke through the Hydras, but barely not. Yeah, barely not. Did end up losing 3 Stalkers or 2 Hydras and the Queen from earlier. I'd say a better defense here from Solar. There's that Lurker den that we mentioned. We're rushing into Lurker tech. And I would be concerned for Classic if it weren't for Storm. Storm is almost done. When it finishes, then Classic can start to push out again. Until then, though, he's stuck at home. He is being more defensive. And there's still going to be a window in time here where Classic can move out with Storm before we have Hive Tech Lurkers. Lair Tech Lurkers, I mean, they can be okay. They can try to buy some time. But without that range upgrade, the Protoss can't bully them. The Lankers, they can be bullied. Classic does push to the center. 7 lurkers on the way. Nice revelation. Gets eyes on lurkers. He's moving in. Here come the storms. Oof. Yeah, storm on the hydras. Likewise, 1 lurker should go down. Just the one. Nice zoning storm. There's 1 storm left. Ooh, and Classic is rallying into the army. Yeah, he's rallying in. A little bit messy. There's our final storm. Does deny the base, but has to pull away. As he pulls away, there's that recall back home. Link counterattack will get on top of the 4th. But Classic holds. He defends the base, took down the 5th. Not bad, but ideally he did want to get on top of those lurkers. They finished. They finished up. Hive is done. We have lurker upgrades on the way. Now Classic realizing he cannot break Solar. What do we have? Sky Toss, Fleet Peak, and second Stargate were taken to the skies, and Classic does establish a 4th expansion. The game is slowing down. We're slowing things down. Now, we spoke about these timings. There was a small window here where Protoss would, or Classic would have Storm, and Solar would not have Hive Tech Lurkers. We just saw that moment, and hey, you know, Classic, he took down an expansion. He did somewhat trade well, but now that timing is come and gone, right? Now the Hive upgrades are about to finish. Oh, not done yet. Yeah, not done yet. Catching out another Lurker. At the same time, Solar coming in from behind. Does catch an Oracle. Not bad. And Classic is forced back home. He's forced to turn around. He will collapse on this army, but it's all about buying time because now Hive upgrades are done. Hive upgrades are complete. Again, Solo, he wants to try to break through before there are Tempests. And we're going for the base raiding. Let's go. Yeah, 3rd base is going to be forfeit, and at the same time, Classic, he just commits. He just commits across the map. He knows he cannot push into the lurkers. Cannot move in. Oh no, no detection. Oh my god. Okay, Observer moves in. The lurker still dishing out so much damage. You're coming from behind, and Solar, he gets this around, and there are just too many lurkers. Yeah, cleans up the army. Classic, I'm sure, was hoping that there wouldn't be any defensive lurkers. So messy fight. That's all the High Templar going down. At the same time, wait, was that every lurker? It was. That was every lurker. Oh. We have 4 more lurkers on the way in the main, but in the end, this was actually a much better fight here for a Classic. I assumed there was still a good amount of lurkers across the map. I didn't realize they all went back home to defend. So there's not really that much here. It does get us around on the Immortal. Mineral line gets called out. Classic, he breaks the 3rd, the 4th base, the 5th as well. There's that recall. Yeah, there's the recall back home, and now we have Tempest. The Tempests are here, baby. Oh my god. 1 High Templar gets sniped. We do have 4 lurkers, but only 4. And Solar, he's running out of time. He's running out of time. Down to 3 lurkers. Down to 3. And Storm is coming in. Oh. Oof, yeah, force a Storm early. Premature Storm. Catching out Tempest. Nice week up there out of Solar. Yeah, reinforcing more lurkers. Likewise, same thing we said with the Tempest. Oh, does leave one of the Tempest idle. We'll lose 1. And miscontrol there by Classic. But it's fine. Yeah, he still collapses on top of the lurkers. He still cleans up. He still breaks through. Takes down all the Hydras, and with that, Solo will lose everything. Every lurker goes down. And again, I was surprised that Solar turned around. Like, when it comes to the base trade, I was favoring Solar initially, but he turned back around with all the lurkers. He lost every lurker. He lost his momentum. Classic, he saves his 3rd. I cannot say the same for Solar. So, like, I mean, he does have his quote-unquote 5th base up and running. True. So 3 base versus 3 base. That does favor the Protoss. So amassing on more Tempest. This Classic's building up a superior army. And there are ways to sort of pull this off, for sure, but he is heavily reliant on that positioning, right? If he can pull apart Classic's army, if he can drag him out to the open, or even wait for a counterattack, sorry, wait for a push and then go for a counterattack. That would be the best chance here for Solar. Outside of that, though, Classic doing the correct thing, just turtling it. Just being more defensive, rebuilding his economy, massing up more Tempests, more Storm, more High Templar, more Archons. Ideally, some Immortals as well. So we'll just try to move in. Does that one? Gets two. Not bad. Yeah, 1, 2 Tempest, 2 fall. Very nice abductions. Okay. Can Solo do this? He's had a storm. Yeah, Sola, he's still yet to re-expand. Still stuck on 46 workers. We're building more cannons, batteries. It's looking more and more dire here for Solar. Just trying to move in. I'll take a storm to the face. Oh, slaps a High Templar. They do barely get away. They do slip into the middle line. Temperature left idle. No, the Tempest. Oh, they're fine. They're fine. They hold their own. That's still going to be 12, 16 links. Sorry, 16 probes going down. Links, they bust into the natural. Classic out of position. He's not able to pay attention and did lose a lot of probes. Okay, Solar, he's somewhat pulling this off. I still do favor Classic's main army. Do we have any Vipers? Still one. One Viper. Oof, massive storm on the Hydras. The biggest issue here is that Solar, he's only just now expanding. It's been like 2-3 minutes where Solar, he has chosen not to drone and just make purely army and try to kill. As a result, the lack of expansion is now catching up to it. So very, very late restructuring of the 4th base. Very low worker count. Solar essentially forced himself all in. Let's see, has still been doing damage though. Another base. Let's laze mining. Tempest, they can bully this position. We do set up a Zealot run by. We have built up to 3 Vipers though. Yeah, Vipers are moving in. Doing the Revelation. Not on the Vipers. Not on the Vipers. Classic still playing it slow. Now that we've built up the Viper count, I do want to say that Solar has a better chance of winning a fight. With 3 full energy Vipers, we can abduct all the Tempest. So I'm on the right hand side. Oh. Observer going to be thrown away. That is dangerous. We have limited vision. And here go the deductions. Gets one, gets two, gets three. Oh, only one Tempest goes down. The other two get away. Yeah, some rough abductions. Viper's catching out one more Tempest. Barely. No, Tempest survives. Here in the killing one. There we go. We have more abductions. Soul Storm getting very low. No. Classic does punish those zealots. Solo coming in from behind. Are we going for the bait shot again? Deja vu. Do we commit? We do. We commit across. Hydra's a lunge in. Classic has to make a decision. Does he turn back home or does he commit? And he should commit. Now, the scariest thing about what's happening here is that Solo, he waited for one thing. Recall. But Classic's recall is now on cooldown. He just recalled to the third base. So recall is a non-factor. Does not evacuate any workers. Oh my god. Workers in position. Solo, he does race back home. He races back. Still an awkward position though. Nice feedbacks. Gets one abduction. Slows one on the Hydras. Classic controlling well. Oh, so let's be careful with this High Templar though. Some storms come in. Catching at the expansion. Solo down to 2 bases, down to 1 base mining. Oh god, the storms. The storms are crazy. The storms be crazy. Enough time has passed where recall is still not available. It does get a mineral line. Okay. Nice counter attack here from Solar. Forcing Classic into a line of lurkers. Trying to force him. We do now see Solo with an economy. Classic does not. Nice snipe. What I mean by that, Classic has no mining. You can see here he has no mining in the natural, no mining in the main base. Solo coming in from behind. And Solo may have just done it. But he needs to surround. Oh. And here he comes. Here he comes in from behind. Where are the storms? Yeah, one storm with the lurkers. Archons are going down. And Solo, he does get the surround and he will clean this up just barely. Surrounds him. He cleans everything up. And with that Solo, he will claim the first game of the series. He takes the lead. GG gets called. And Solar takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG well played. A very intense game 1 here, very back and forth. Classic had a lot of strong moments himself, but I do think that a lot of this came down to how Solar approached those final moments, how he did wait for the recall, right? He waited for the recall, then he went for his own counterattack. If there was a recall available, then a different story. We probably wouldn't have seen anywhere near as much of a commitment, and we would have seen Classic save his third base and maintain an economy and keep the game going from there. We saw that Classic, he did end up trading bases. He did kill the 5th and 4th base, but he kept going, right? He didn't turn back around. He lost his expansion, lost his 3rd. GG. GG well played. Hey. And with that, Solo does take lead in the series, and we'll see if Solo can close it out or if Classic will fight back. As we are loading into game 2. Going to be loading into Ruby Rock. We go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. It is Solar. leading the series 1-0 as we once again load into one of these smaller maps. What were the vetoes in a best of 3? For game 1 to be 10,000 feet, for game 2 to be Ruby Rock, once again aggression is favored on this map, even more so than 10,000 feet, with a shorter rush distance with more accessible 3rd and 4th bases. So we'll see how Solar will approach this. We're expecting more aggression, but remember last game Solar, he was very tech heavy. He was very tech heavy, and going for the faster lair, into faster hydras, into faster lurkers, into faster hive tech. And I was a little bit concerned that he got to hive tech a little bit too, or he wasn't able to make full use of it, as he did not stop his opponent from getting into sky toss. But the reality is he was still able to knock down bases, limit the economy, make the game as chaotic as it was, and in the end Classic was never able to build up his ideal army. Didn't quite get there. He didn't get that death wall. Now we're calming down. Yeah. Calming down, we're opening up. So far just Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Solar, likewise Classic going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. We're expecting the same opener out of Classic. From Solar, we'll see if he goes into a faster Evo Chamber, a faster Roach Warren. Remember last game, it was Lair first. And we'll see where he spends his gas. As we have our take of choice. Stargate opener behind the natural. A really odd kind of placement here from Classic, by the way. Usually your tech is in the main base and it's a little bit closer towards your opponent. Here it's hidden behind the main. Because of that, I'm curious if we plan on hiding something else here. Do we plan on going for, say, a Void Ray opener into a hidden Fleet Beacon, into a Tempest Rush or a Carrier Rush? Again, there's not typically too much reason to hide this, so we'll see. Oracle first. Okay, does open Oracle. Does he bank? No, he doesn't. Oh, actually, he might. I was curious to see if he tries to... It's not uncommon to see players like hide their first 2 Oracles, wait for them to bank up, and then move out across the map. Overlord moves in. And we're just rally across, okay. We're not holding off. So do commit to Shade. They can one-shot drones, getting 1, 2, 3. 3 drones going down, not bad. Should not get 4 though. As things will clean up. So 3 drone kills, not a bad trade here from Classic. Oracle breaks in, Spore is not yet done. Ooh, getting it to 5, getting it to 6. Yeah, 6, 7 drones. Ay. More than what should have happened. Adepts did distract the queens. And so far Classic does have the stronger start. Much better start for Classic. Just opening up double Oracle into an early Twilight Council. And a delayed Forge. Oh, okay. Interesting. We'll see if we end up getting a Forge or not. This might be the beginning of Glaive Adepts, for example. Or we can even go early Charge, but leading more towards Adepts. If we go for a later Forge, it'll just be Blink, and it'll be a safer start here. If you recall, Classic's been very fond of a build where you go up to an early early Twilight Council, late Forge into a Gateway Explosion, into a 6-gate setup. Yep, Blink is on the way. Looking to be the build. Zound showcases this quite a bit in GSL Season 1 of this year. So did Classic. Safety Roach one out of Solar. Did once again go Lair first. We'll see if he goes into a Spyro or not. Or just into Roach heavy play. Let him say bust in, they shade into the natural, Lings are in position, but they get dealt with. Ooh, somewhat. Yeah, one Oracle gets thrown away. Some heavy losses here for Classic. But he does get into the mineral line, and he gets another 4, 5, 6. 6 more drone kills. We get 7. We do. Oh my god. 8? Okay. 8 drones. 8, 9 drones go down. Crazy damage. It is going to be Roach speed on the way for Solar, and Solar, he sustained a lot of losses. The pressure is on. We got to do some counter damage here. Gotta get something done. The issue is that if Solar goes for an all-in, this Blink is going to be done early. Remember, that's the purpose of this build. Early Blink allows for, I mean, an earlier timing, of course, but it also means that it's going to be ready defensively in case it were to be an all-in. Lings hits into again. Getting called out. Yeah, it's going to be the all-in. We have numerous carapaces on the way. Solar, he's lost too many drones this game. Has lost, what, 14? 18 drones have gone down. Crazy damage. So it's all or nothing with Solar going for the German taxi. Either he kills Classic or he dies trying. And again, it's going to be a weakened all-in as Solar is forced into it. So this wasn't the initial plan from the beginning. Oof. Catching down to 1, 2, 3 roaches. 4, 5, 6. 6 roaches going down. So as they blink away, not many Lings to punish. Not many. Solar's massing on more roaches again. Solar, he has no plans to drone up his base. It's all or nothing. Here come the Drop Lords. And Classic, I don't think he's fully... He's getting batteries. Just the one, though. So he might not fully be aware. As Classic is being very active when he should be more defensive here. Yeah, there's a lack of site defense. He's not aware. Now he should be. Checks the 4th. 0 drones. 0 drones, 0 saturation. Here comes the all-in across the map. There's the recall back home. There's that recall. But with only 1 battery and 1 cannon here, is that going to be enough? Storm is done in 10 seconds. Need a little bit more time here. Queens, they do come in. Massive storm. Oracle goes down. There's 1 storm left. Blinks on the Queens. And nice storms. Yeah, nice storms. Softening up all the roaches. Stalkers, they should clean up. Again, lack of batteries does make this difficult, but he should have enough. Classic collapsing on the roaches. They're going down one after the other. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Classic ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We do have a tied series. We're going to the ace match. Again, Classic, it was insane economic damage done early on. 18 drones, purely from Adept and from Oracle Harass is far too much damage. So Solar, he was forced into the all-in. He was too far behind. He could not macro out of that position. And Classic, he was able to barely hold on. Again, not the cleanest defense at a Classic, but it's still defended. Defense nonetheless. As that leads us into game number 3. Into set ace match. Oh, again, what were the vetoes? As game 3 is going to be on Celestial Enclave. We're getting some of the more extreme maps this series. Very extreme. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the red Protoss player, the Protoss player himself. We have the South Green Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Tying up the series and spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Green Zerg being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Solar. we go. Going to be opening up here, classic setting up on the high ground. Again, welcome to Celestial Enclave, where you do have a free pocket expansion. There's a pocket base. We have a very secure natural, as it is on the high ground as well, and a secure linear third base as well. So we do often see like 4-base play, at least on Celestial Enclave. It can be very difficult to break a player on this map. We brought up mutas in game 1, and that's why we have to bring up mutas here as well. Mutalists are a way to bypass some of the strengths of the map and try to harass and gain momentum. Another option, of course, is you can still go for these big 3-base all-ins by knocking down these rocks. You can knock down the rocks and just rush on forward and break the natural base, or we can see drop lord play as well. Like, there are ways to be aggressive on this map, but typically you have to do something more extreme to be aggressive. What else did you got? The players are going to be opening up. Classic sitting up in his pocket. Or just getting vision, I should say. And we should just be seeing a Stargate, right? Stargate opener into a third expansion, into a standard game by the classic. Solo, we'll see if he goes into Lair first, Eva Chamber first, Roach Warren. We'll see. As there's that Stargate. And with the help of the Stargate, he does get a little bit better vision, and likewise faster across the map. Link speed is going to be researched, pulls out of gas. Nothing crazy, just draining. Just turning on up. And again, this is one of the reasons why I was talking about the defensive setup, why this map is often vetoed in ZVP, just because it's so difficult for the Zerg player to be aggressive, and often you don't want to go to the late game against Protoss and on this matchup. Even the game on 10,000 feet was forced into a longer game. Like, that was never the intention from Solar. So typically if a Zerg player lets us through the vetoes, it's for a reason. They've been cooking something. Set up, say, throw in the shade. Threading. Let's say commits, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3. 3 drones going down. The Oracle does take a lot of hull damage, but we're getting out of hand. It's up to 5. Yeah, 5 drone kills. Did misclick towards the end there. Did get a Ling instead of another drone. The Oracle does sustain a lot of damage. Not a bad start. The one difficult thing about this position, though, is that the Oracle has very low HP, and the Oracle does have value over time. It's a lot of damage dealt to the Oracle. Behind this, going for a very early Twilight Council. This looks like the same build as last game. It looks like early Blink and later Forge and later Gateways. Case down the way. Eva Chamber first out of Solar. Screams +1 melee. There we go, melee's on the way. Typically into Ling Hydra. So standard composition here out of Solar. Classic. Oh, there we go. We brought this up earlier in the series with no Forge. We were like, hey, this could be Glaives, and it is. We brought it up last game, if you recall. But this is going to be very cheeky here. This is going to actually work wonders. So there's a couple things going on. We were discussing a lot about how it's very easy for Protoss players to just turtle up and get into a longer game. It's usually the Zerg player that does go for an all-in. Well, this is a way to turn that on its head and try to punish Solar for being too greedy early on. Behind this, Eva Chamber means no Banelings and no Roach Warren, right? And the defense against Adepts is going to be very difficult here for Solar due to the tech that he has available to him. Due to lack of roaches, lack of banelings, lack of scanning, lack of vision so far. Depths, they can trade very well here. Depths going to be zoned away. Here come the warp-ins. And Solo has no idea. Yeah, Solo he has no idea what's going on. Does cash out in the depth though. Very nice. Oh. Yeah, does try to. Yeah, the Master Depths they move out. It is going to be muted play here by Solo. We spoke about it earlier. It's very common to go muted on Celestial Enclave as a way to bypass the terrain. But here come the Adepts already here. And how many Zerglings to defend? 19. Yeah, 19 Lings. Lings are race back home, Adepts they bust into the mineral line. Nice positioning, nice limited service area. Limited service area. Ooh, so we catch a queen. Gets one, gets two, shades into the main. Oh, a couple of Adepts do get surrounded. Yeah, messy shade here. Messy. But still breaks through. Oh my god. Still gets 8 drone kills. Shading into the natural. We have more reinforcements on the way. Going back and forth, and Solo just cannot keep up. He's being torn apart, just too much damage. GG gets called, and Classic, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. We were discussing the issues of the map as well, and how Solo would approach it, and it looks like he wanted to be greedy early on, cut corners and get into the mid game with Ling Hydra and maybe rush into lurkers or go for a big 4-base all-in. But as that was happening, Classic, he was the aggressor instead. Instead of following the norms, he did go for early glaives, and Solo was not able to scout, not able to confirm. Solo was not playing safe, and he got caught with his pants down. GG. GG well played. He just could not defend, not purely with Ling Queen. When you have Ling Queen as a defense, it is possible, but you are heavily reliant on surrounding. If you can surround the Adepts, and if you can get some good surface area, then you can pop off. But without that, Adepts, they trade so well against the Zerglings. GG. GG well played. Solo, he's out of the tournament, and Classic does advance on. Does advance on to the semis. Here we go. It is going to be a best of 3 between Classic and Bjorn in the PvT. Let's go. Let us go. For now, though, we're going to be going on a very short break. Going to be going on a short break. It's actually quite cold here in Australia. Quite cold, quite dry, and I just want to quickly make some tea before jumping into the semis. So we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the semifinals between Classic and Bjorn. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals or semi-finals here of the WardiTV Monday number 83. We returned here with our best of 3 PvT matchup. Again, I hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST, that lovely break, as we've returned here with our PvZ. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is a classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is Bjorn. Let's go. Let us go, as we are going to be opening up. The initial workers do actually come across each other. Bjorn, trying to be cheeky, gets caught out, and he is forced back. Bjorn asking for a re-mappy. So for those that are curious what just happened, SCV scouts are quite rare. Bjorn moved out with the SCV. The goal there was to go for an eBay block or for a proxy, one or the other. He gets scouted immediately and he gets denied. And here he's like, oh wait. He's like, what's going on? Classic, he's laughing, and Bjorn jokingly asking for a re, as his initial plan is deflected. So far, a better start for Classic. Bjorn forced into a double gas. Ooh, double gas opener into a faster factory. With that, Classic can freely expand back at home, and Bjorn is going to be the aggressor coming into the early game. Here we go. So we are going to be opening up. Oh, Cal, whip out the translations. I got you. I got you. I think Classic's asking, hey, why aren't you expanding? And then Bjorn's like, Protoss IP. Well done. Give us the camera. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Classic was actually asking where the worker went. He was like, oh, where's your SCV? I think he's assuming to the worker that was on low ground that went up into the high ground. It looks like Classic did miss that. Bjorn was like, oh, the workers are gone. Don't worry about it. Yeah, with that, Bjorn does have the faster factory. Again, later CC here from Bjorn. Hello, as we're going for an earlier 1-1-1 setup. Classic just going for a standard opener back at home. The reasoning and the rationale as to why we do have a battery already in the main base is because of the double gas opener. With this could have been Reaper Hellion, and if it was Reaper Hellion, then we can hit both bases at once, so we have one battery in each base just to be safe. We can see, of course, that Bjorn did not go Reaper Hellion. He's going into Reactive Marine into Mine Drop, but Classic was just playing it safe. Just playing it safe. After recognizing the double gas opener, Widow Mines are amassing for the drop, and I'm curious to see if Bjorn drops with only the Widow Mines or if he does pick up his Marines as well. Usually if that's the case, there's only one mine. True. Would have been a prioritization of Marine production. So now we're just building up. Bjorn moves out with his drop. Behind this, we have Classic just scoring into 3-gate Blink into a Robo. Very safe play here at Classic. Going into his 3 gateways and Blink before third expansion. So far, very safe. And we'll see if Classic can keep up with the mine drop. Bjorn moves in. Drops into the mineral line. Classic does react in time. Ooh, we'll still take a mine shot to the face. I'll take some ice to the face. Also Bjorn away. Oh. As Bjorn, he gets owned away and does no damage so far. The medevac barely survives, but a really rough start here for Bjorn. The opener finds no damage, and behind this Beyond going for the follow-up, just going to his own triple max production, his own 3-1-1 into Bio Tank, eventually into Stim. So Beyond stuck at home. Classic able to freely expand. Now what I will say is that at least this medevac is keeping Supply busy back at home. Ideally, Classic wants to move out, not to kill his opponent, but to just contain and find any damage, poke in, get a Marine here and there, get an SCV here and there. Prism now moves out. Oh, to the... no shot. That could the yo, Classic, calm down. The question mark. Beyond's laughing about it. Basically, Beyond just moved in with a mine drop and he lost everything. Lost the mine drop. Smooch. With that Classic, he busts into the main, gets into the mineral line. So far, no major damage, just gets one SCV, thankfully. Just the one. Ooh, as Liberator just show up in the main, not bad. 4 probes. They're catching up 4 workers. Liberator should barely get away. So Beyond making up for his lack of damage with the Widow Mines. But it's very common whenever Beyond plays for him to banter with his opponent, whether it's with Solar, Hero, Classic. Often a lot of banter. So we have our Bay follow-up working towards Colossus, getting towards splash damage of choice. Classic comfortably getting into his own 3 bases. And the real question becomes, Beyond, how hard does he commit? He was waiting at home until Stim finishes, and Stim is about to finish. Stim, combat shields, reactive Viking production. Beyond does move out, and this is quite a committed push. Let's go to his 3 tanks, his mass bio. Behind this, we should be seeing a 3rd CC, or we just pulled the boys. There's a Rico back home. Classic, he will spot the main army. Oh! Does catch a Marine. Forced to pull away. It's going to be close. There's going to be no Colossus to defend. Nice force fields. It looks down a handful of Marines. It gets what, 3, 4, 5 Marine kills. More Zealots have arrived. Tanks are caught on siege, and Beyond is getting caught. Ooh, he's getting caught out. But that's Crazy Blink. Yeah, Crazy Blink. 2 Stalkers go down. That was not worth it for Classic. Classic will clean this up, but a messy fight here from the Protoss. Very messy. And he actually does not get on top of the tank. No, he doesn't. Oh my god. And Beyond has done it. Beyond has done it. He has broken through. Colossus still not out. So down to 3 Stalkers, and Beyond he overwhelms. He overwhelms. He takes down every single probe. It was such a close fight as well. Very close. If we had a couple of Zealots, if Classic did not blink forward, then maybe that would have been enough. But in the end, Beyond, he has broken through. He has broken the expansion, critical damage, 8 probe kills the main army within range of the Nexus, and Classic cannot afford to lose this, and he will. As it blinks forward once again, he gets punished. Every Stalker goes down. Colossus being focus fired. Oof, does fall as well. Technically, Classic does save the expansion, but I mean, he's lost far too much, man. Lost far too much of the process, and again, it all came down to that one engagement here. If he had a couple of extra Zealots, or if he had preserved his Stalkers instead, if there was a bit of a difference here when it comes to the overall engagement, then maybe he holds, he defends, and then we have a very different outcome. Beyond looking good. At least Classic saved the expansion. True. Did save the 3rd. Did not lose it. And he's slowly rebuilding his Colossus, slowly catching back up. The issue here, though, is that it takes too long, right? It's going to take so long here to recover when it comes to the army size. Beyond, he already has an army. He already has a force to work with. Beyond does not need to wait. And he shouldn't. There's a scan. Beyond stepping in. Setting up the mines, the force fields, they look down his army. Not bad. Classic making the best out of a bad situation. Very nice force fields. Has been. He's going to bleed out some units here dropping. Does catch a couple of Stalkers. Not bad. So does trade. Trades with the Stalkers. Beyond close to getting into 150 supply. Second Starport. More reactive Viking production. Beyond does back up. And Classic double expands. Okay. Now, again, Classic still doesn't really have much of a standing army, but with the double expansions, with these bold moves here by Classic, there are ways to recover in this game. Classic is still behind, and Classic should still die. Like he should not recover in this game. But if he's left alone, if he's allowed to get these bases up and running, then Classic can rebuild. But only if Beyond is passive. Big example of that, Beyond doesn't know this base is being taken. This base should not get up and running. It should not saturate. But Beyond did retreat. Classic being active. Nice punish. Jesus, catching out 4 Vikings. Okay. 4 Vikings get caught. We're building up to 3, soon to be 4 Colossi. And with losing 4 Vikings and committing some mass Colossus here, I mean, that does work well here for Classic. It's getting his 5th operational. Prioritizing gases. Temple Archives also now done. Still a little Marauders though. Still a heavy Marauder count. Classic catching up in terms of supply. And again, all this comes down to this 5th base. It got up. No shot. Beyond still has the momentum, he still has the advantage. He's now rotating over. He is now finally checking the 5th expansion. Oh no! There we go. Does check, does confirm. He did a double take. It's like, hold on. And the base goes down. Yeah, there's no saving this. Classic gonna try. Does pull the boys. Vikings get 1. And they're catching out 1 Colossus so far. Zealots they push too far forward, and with that, Beyond should overwhelm. And catching out the 2nd and the 3rd Colossus. Ooh, army sims in. Zealots are tanking well. But surprisingly well. And it's still going to be close here. Marauders they stim forward. They're getting into the Colossi. He wants them. Oh my god, the juggling. But he breaks through. He breaks through all the Stalkers. Every Stalker goes down. Heavy losses here for Classic, losing the Mineral Land as well. There's no more Prism. No more Colossus. The Vikings, they chase him down. And Classic barely does not recover in this game. It was close though. It was disturbingly close. As this space did give Classic a lot of opportunities here, and he is still double expanding behind this as well, which is crazy. But Classic, he cannot rebuild that army. Not after losing 4 Colossus. 4 Colossus, the War Prism, the Mass Gateway army as well. Expensive losses there for Classic. And Beyond has done it. Takes down 1 base. Going for another. Patching out more expansions. You can see Classic desperately going for a counterattack and trying to force Beyond back home. Catching reinforcements, but Beyond is not too far away. And to get a Viking, getting on top of the Ghost as well. It's okay trades, but not quite worth it. GG gets called, and Beyond, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Classic having a very rough start to the early game. I did point out that Beyond, he went for a very strong move out. So we saw the Classic, he was able to engage ahead of time. He had some good force fields actually looking down the army, but barely did not have enough to defend. Just barely. It was a very, very close fight. And with Beyond taking that fight, I mean, he just snowballed out of control, just claimed it from there. We saw that Classic was hyper greedy afterwards, and he almost got away with it, but not quite. He still needed more time to be able to max out, and never quite got there. GG. GG, all played. With that, Beyond does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. As we are jumping into our next game. Why can't Classic win that final fight? Referring to the final engagement there, I mean, one, Classic, he was behind that game just because he had sustained heavy losses early on in reference to him losing his 2 Colossus, in reference to him losing his army. So he had to take a lot of risks, take a lot of chances. He was down in supply, down in army. He didn't have much anti-air to protect his Colossus. That's why the Vikings, they popped off. They killed 2 Colossus and the War Prism as well. So there just wasn't much support for the Colossus, and on top of that, he was forced to fight because he was behind, right? Ideally, if you're in that kind of position, you have the luxury of retreating and backing off and sacrificing your base, but in that position, because Classic was so far behind, he had to fight for the expansion as well. So even though he was down in army, and even though he didn't have the best army to work with, like, he had to fight, because, I mean, otherwise he was dead anyway. Ideally, when you get up to that high of a base count and that high of an army, like, you have a more diverse composition of Colossus and Storm, or Colossus and Disruptors. You have more of a buffer as well when it comes to your gateway composition. That's why we were pointing out that Classic, he wasn't and he could not max out. A lot of it came down to the early to mid game. It came down to just how much damage Classic sustained. That's why we were trying to emphasize that, like, Classic, he was down and out, and he was taking a lot of risks, a lot of chances to recover, but didn't quite get there. Didn't quite catch back up. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Protoss Pro. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is Beyond. Oh, once again, double gas from the beginning this time. So double gas opener out of Beyond, faster factory, delayed CC. Last game, this led into eventually a Widowmine drop. It did lead into the Widowmine drop, which wasn't quite worth it. So the Liberator did make up for that, of course. Don't get me wrong. Liberator did help out. And we'll see if he goes to the same build or if he goes into something different. Do we go into Cloak Banshee? Do we go into Reactor Reaper Hellion? Do we go early Cyclone? Early tank push? Beyond has options. Beyond has options. But yeah, that game was more or less decided when it came to that first big push at the third base of Classic. Almost got away with the mass expansions. Almost. Almost. Casito. Here we go. Here we go. We're sailing into 10,000 feet. This time a smaller map. Smaller map, the map pool. The bases are quite close together and a little bit easier to defend. This would typically favor our Protoss player building up into, you know, a 3, 4, 5 base economy and containing the Terran. But this isn't the worst map for Terran players to take a 5th base. Like, usually the 5th base is quite a difficult map, difficult base to achieve. But we have seen a lot of success here on 10,000 feet, cutting the map in half. We'll see. We shall see. First things first, Twilight Council opener at a classic. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. We're expecting the same build as last game, 3 gate blink. Into a robo is kind of our expectations. Meanwhile, Bjorn going for his own 1-1-1, once again into a Watermine drop. This time did commit a little bit harder into Reaper Hellion. If you remember, last game did go into a faster reactor into reactor marine production. So he's able to hide his initial build. Mines are building up. 2 more gates get thrown down, so 3 gate blink so far. And do we skip the robo? Oh, we go one step further. Hello, that is the 4th gateway. Okay. So classic, this time he's not going to be the defender, he's going to be the aggressor. 4 gate blink at a classic, hyper aggression. Robo's on the way into Warp Prism, into a massive move out across the map. We'll see if Bjorn can recognize what's going on. We'll see if he can count those gateways. Bjorn does move out with his Reaper Hellion. He gets spotted, he gets deflected. What am I dropping to the main? No major scouting here. Gets eyes on just the tech on the first gateway. Widow mines, they do deal some damage though. They had nice on mining. Mining is denied. Drop into the natural. What do we see? Bjorn spots the robo, he spots stalkers, he does not spot the extra gateways though. Yeah, not yet. And likewise, Reaper Hellion was zoned away, so we don't get eyes on the 3rd. 3rd base not being taken though, okay. Classic going observer first, not War Prism. So a bit of a wonky build here from Classic. Going into this high of a gateway count, you do typically want to be moving out, but the Widow Mines, the Liberator now as well, the Reaper Hellion has been keeping Classic busy. As he wants to push out, and now he finally does. But this is delayed, and there's no War Prism either, so it's a very, very light aggression here from Classic, very light. Bjorn should be fine. This Classic doesn't engage at a time, does pick with the Marines, and Bjorn attempting to move out already. Nice timing here by Classic. And nice timing. Liberator catching out 4 probes. Bjorn keeps moving out, catching a Stalker. Liberator back in. And Liberator is dealt with. Decent defense here from Classic. And he's punishing this quite hard. How many Marines did he just kill? 11. 11 Marine kills. Oh! Classic overextends, losing 2 extra Stalkers. And now he has 3 threatening the main base. Classic does hold, but it was a messy defense. Was messy. Losing 5 probes, 3 Stalkers. At least he does deflect the main push, but Bjorn saved all of his tanks. Saved all the tanks. Getting up to now 4 tanks. 3rd TC is on the way. Building up into the mid game. Still a very, very tense early game here for Classic and Bjorn. As again, Classic, he wants to make use of the excess amount of Stalkers that he has. Needs to make use of it. Oof. Will barely delay the CC. So delays the command center. Rushing into a 4th base. Bearing in mind that Bjorn is only on 2 bases. So good timing with the 4th. And the goal, the hope, is not for Classic to break Beyond, but for him to contain, right? To keep Beyond busy on 2 bases for as long as possible. Warp Prism into the main. Extra warp ins. He wants those tanks. We'll see what he can get. It's a lot of stalkers. He does start to move in. At the same time, Beyond starts to move out. Unsieges tanks. The main base is exposed. Does catch the observer. And as Beyond moves out, Classic should be moving in. He pokes in. Yeah, pokes into the main. Nothing major. Beyond breaks out. Now we commit. Yeah, now we can commit in. He can go for the force field. Oh, he can go for the force field. Yeah, Sentry gets dropped. We came with the production. We're holding onto that force field, and Bjarni's forced a counterattack. He's forced into the all-in. We're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Do we force with the ramp? We do. Yeah, ramp is force fielded. SCVs are going to be going down. At the same time, Bjarni pushes in towards the natural. There's one close to defend. Trying to get on top of the tank. Not quite able to. Bjarni breaks through. Depowers the robo. Massive pickup. Takes down the robo. Does move in. At the same time, we have the Great Migration. Bjarni evacuates. He evacuates his base. Bearing in mind, we can always recall back home, right? We can always recall to the top right. And Classic, does he get on top of the tanks? He does not. I mean, the tanks are low, but they do survive. I think engaging into 4 siege tanks is going to be so brutal here for Classic. Force shield buying some time. +2 is denied. It denies +2. Classic cleaning up the main base. Boys are pulled away. Another force field. And Classic looks like he should just recall this army. He should just recall top right. And try to save the Colossus. But you want to hold on to it, right? You don't want to use it too early. Army breaks through. Gun is moving in. Classic tempted to dive. He has a second army coming in from behind. Does he try to sandwich? Or does he recall? Does find some SCVs. Nice damage here with the Colossus. Nice control. Tanks they get on top of the high ground. Classic's coming in. He wants to surround. And we'll see if he can. As Classic commits. But again, that's a brutal choke point. And there's a recall. Yeah, he recalls. He does recognize he cannot push up this ramp. Again, the choke point here is brutal. Recalls a safety. Beyond, he has 0 mining. He does have some SCV saved, but no economy. And GG. GG gets called. Classic has 2 bases up and running, and Classic, he will tie the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, it's quite difficult to base trade a Protoss just because that recall mechanic. Nice movement out of Classic to be able to buy time in the main base, get as much damage as possible with that Colossus, and eventually was able to recall out, save his army, and basically pin and keep Beyond trapped in the main. He was trapped in the main base. He could not break out. He had no economy himself. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As we are going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. Again, not how I assumed the game would turn out, so actually based on the openers. But sure, we committed that. And now we're jumping into game number 3. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss. Oh, the Red Protoss player himself representing Virtus Pro, forcing the ace match and bringing us all the way to the ace match. To game 3, it is a classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is a Bjorn. We go again. Forced into that all-in last game, forced to counterattack across the map. And last year was just so late to the base trade. Classic, he did initiate, of course, diving into the main, camping all the production. Bjorn had just too much ground to cover. Let's go. Here we go, as we are going to be opening up. For the first time this series, single gas opener and racks expand out of Bjorn. Classy does confirm. So we have an economic start out of our Terran player. It's going to be that economic start. At the same time, this means that Classic can cut some corners, so we can see 2-gate blink. I mean, I feel like 2-gate blink into a third base would be very greedy on Ruby Rock. We're imagining more of like a 3-gate blink opener. But we'll see. We'll see what he does go for. Classic still didn't play Thunder. Referring to Storm, he has not. He has not so far in this series. He did play Storm against Solar earlier, to great effect, of course. But this game hasn't really allowed for Storm, just because of how intense it's been. Oh, hello. Speaking of intensity, Bjorn does open up with the Tech Lab on the racks into Marauder, into what do we see? Second and soon to be a third rack. So we have a 3 racks follow-up here out of Bjorn. Hyper aggression, early stim timing is going to be on the way, and it's going to be up to Classy to confirm what's going on. So very, very strong timing here. This is not an all-in, bear that in mind, but we're going to be building up into early stim, early combat shields, early concussive shell, early bio, early marine Marauder. The downside of this build is that we do have a big delay on the factory and starport, which means if your opponent goes 4-gate blink, for example, getting into, say, defensive, getting into tank production and being defensive can be quite difficult for the Terran. Can be difficult. So now we have the early move out, trying to catch any stray gateway units. Remember, Classic is unaware. Oh, sorry, now he is. Pulls back the Stalker. Pylon's under fire. We got to pull the boys. Yeah, boys being pulled. The pylon's getting very low. And we come in from behind. We get on top of the Marine at least. And Marine goes down. Forces back the army. That's still going to be 3 probe kills. 4 probes even. And not bad. Ooh, but does trade. Yeah, does trade 1-to-1 here so far. This has been a better trade for Bjorn. And there's that follow-up. Now, what's scary here is that Classic, he's still unaware. He's aware of the initial opener, but the follow-up, this could still be 3cc, for example. It could be 3cc into a 3-ax follow-up after the 3rd command center. We could be seeing a 2-1-1 variation. We can still see a 1-1-1 after a Marauder opener as well. Classic playing it safe, getting up to 3 gateways. This prison will allow some harass, and I do think there is potential for damage here. Actually, never mind. I was gonna say there's potential. There usually is pre-stim, but stim is done. Stim is complete. I mean, the Marauder count is quite low. Bjorn did just lose 2 Marauders, so with a lower Marauder count Stalkers, they can excel. And here comes Classic. Classic moves out. Army's in position. Remember, stim is complete. Jesus. Does rotate into the main. Doesn't quite commit. Still threatening a dive. Behind this, going for a very delayed third expansion. Does go for the dive. Does focus on the Marauders. He gets one. He gets up to two. Not quite. Boys are being pulled. Beyond can he make a stand? He can. He does force the army out. And Classic is not stopping. Yeah, he's not stopping. As we mentioned before, his third base is very late. He's very committed. And Classic may overwhelm. There's still only 2 Marauders. Now down to 1. Down to 0. 0 Marauders left. But the soldiers are still very low. With good enough control, Classic he should overwhelm though. As again, the army's just so very low. He cannot push through. Does get 9 SCVs. Still good damage. Still warping in. Still not stopping. He just wants to keep going. Oh my god, the stim. The stim once again punishes. That's 2 or 3 Stalkers going down. Beyond is still holding on. This is why 4K Blink would have been, or is just so much stronger here against 3 Maxes. As you have extra Stalkers, extra commitment, extra reinforcements. Hitting earlier even. And behind this, Classic is taking up. Colossus on the way, getting to his own forge. Picking up his army. Ooh, Prism gets caught out. Barely gets away. Very low Prism. Beyond has defended. And the game will continue. The game does continue. Classic does at least saturate his third base, but he needs a little bit more time for the Colossus. I will say that Classic's done a great job when it comes to resetting the Marauder count. The Marauder count at this point should be much, much higher. With it being as low as it is, I believe the Colossus should be enough to defend. Ooh, as we jump into the main. Yeah, jumps into the main base. Probe's going to be going down. 8 probe kills, crazy damage. Even trading well against the Stalkers because they're so low. And Classic being torn apart. Colossus position, very nice. As we mentioned, just not enough Marauders. Colossus does defend. That's still 8 probe kills on the main. Economically, Classic is still lacking. It's still lacking. Still down to 53. Beyond getting his own third. And we're getting into the early to mid game. The game is continuing. Game does continue. Behind this, we have our 4th base on the way for Classic. I would say a decently timed 4th expansion, but because of the trades that we've seen here in the early to mid game, like it's still very shaky. It's still very tense. Beyond unloads, ready for a counterattack. Classic likewise wants to be active. Scans ahead of time, sees the army is missing. And Beyond gets spotted. Beyond is spotted in time. So far spotted in time. Beyond can now finally expand. And how many tanks do we have? 4. Okay. We've got a heavy tank count. This is also where the map comes into play. If you recall, we mentioned this previously, but Ruby Rock does favor aggression, shorter rush distance by ground, open 3rd, open 4th base, Beyond moves out, and the Observer does spot the move out. Classic is aware, but he's not able to engage ahead of time. Classic is in trouble. We do favor Beyond in this fight. if he's able to siege up in time. Does siege up the army. Classic, he has to respect those siege tanks.
Base is under attack.
And speaking of tank boys going off, he does have to abandon the base. Third is going to go down. Fourth as well. Heavy losses for Classic. Heavy losses. And again, Classic just cannot engage. Not like this. Nice run by. Nice counterattack. Ooh, Colossus getting caught out. Oh no! Yeah, Classic overextends. Massive pickoff. Down to 2 Colossus. Down to 2. That's Classic. He wants to try to catch the tanks on siege. He does. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks going to be going down. Massive catch by Classic. Ooh, Beyond caught with his pants down. He gets caught with his pants down. Beyond losing everything. And with that Classic, he just snowballed out of control. He breaks out. He breaks free. There's 1 tank left. Takes down the final tank. And Beyond has been broken. Again, it was very tense. Beyond had a very nice move out. He was able to deny 2 bases. He had the better position. But he got caught on siege. He got caught on siege. He got caught mid-rotation. And that was game. That was game then and there as Classic just snowballs out of control, pushing on forward, breaks the third, and moves into the natural. Beyond trying to rebuild down to 1 tank. 1 tank in the main. Oh no mas, papi. Oh no mas. And Classic moves in. He moves in, breaks through the Marines. Breaks through the bio, dives on the final tank. And with that, GG gets called. GG gets called. Classic, he'll take game number 3 in the series, 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense final game here. Very close, very clutch, very back and forth. Again, Beyond was able to build up a terrifying army to work with, to push out across the map, to break down the expansions. Classic just could not engage until Beyond unsieged. Well, once Beyond unsieged, then Classic, he was able to dive, flank the army coming from behind, get all 4 tanks, and that was the backbone of the army destroyed. I should also give credit, of course, to the Zealot Rambai. That's another big factor, is if you remember, there were like 5 Zealots going for a counterattack, catching out SCVs at the 3rd base, that also delayed reinforcements from Beyond, and also did disrupt reinforcements as well, as that did disrupt the economy from the Terran player, so he had less to reinforce as well. So there were a couple of factors coming into that, of course. But again, Classic, he found his engage. Very patient play. Very, very patient play. Just waiting for his moment. GG. GG. And with that, we have our grand finals getting ready for us here. It is going to be a best of 5. Best of 5 finals between... Who exactly? Oh, okay. A best of 5 finals here between Classic and MaxPax. It is going to be a PvP. It's going to be a fast one, I'm sure. These two, they do often have a hyper-aggressive games with each other. When it comes to PvP, I would say that Hero, MaxPax, and Classic, they do often trade. They do often go back and forth. In the most recent year, both Hero and Classic have been more favored over MaxPax. That's more in recent times. We have seen MaxPax try and reinvent his PvP. We'll get into it. We will get into it. As we're jumping into that final game of the broadcast. The final series. Let's go. Classic versus MaxPax. So they're loading into the Old Republic. Loading in. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself from the land of Denmark. Representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the yellow Protoss player, the yellow Protoss player himself, the South Green Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be settling into our fresh series, the Grand Finals, Grand Finales. We have our PvP, and there's a lot to discuss in regards to MaxPax. So if you know anything about PvP and MaxPax, you know that he at one point had the best PvP in the world. This was around 2023, 2024 era of StarCraft. Then we had the big change, the battery change. If you remember, we used to have a very different shield battery. We had the shield battery overcharge. Now we have the NG overcharge instead. When that change happened, we saw a big change in regards to MaxPax's play overall. Not just that, then we had the NG overcharge nerf as well. So there were a couple of different changes that did impact MaxPax's PvP. Because of those changes, one, it meant that Oracle play was weaker in this matchup, and we do often see Stargate openers out of MaxPax. As Classic goes Gate, oh wait, never mind, Gate Expand, Hyper Greed out of Classic. Let's go, baby, let's go. Meanwhile, MaxPax going for his own Gate into Cybercore into expansion. Later build here by MaxPax. Classic gets away with a greedier start. Oh boy. Now this is very common when it comes to Hero, MaxPax, and Classic. They often do, like in the past, back when in the era that I was referring to, it used to be the case where MaxPax was always the defender, always being greedy, and then players like Hero and Classic trying to all in. Nowadays, Hero and Classic over the past year, it's been around 12 months or even more than that, we've been seeing mixed in their own greedy builds and even out greeding and out macroing MaxPax as well. So PvP has taken a big kind of turn in recent years. MaxPax going for his own Stargate opener. And right now we have the dynamic of MaxPax needing to be the aggressor instead. He needs to punish Classic, and he can. We'll see if he will. Now the issue here as well is that Classic is going for his own Stargate follow-up, and Classic knows that MaxPax is very fond of Stargate play himself. He also scouts and confirms, so we should be entering Phoenix Wars. Now we spoke about this a couple of nights ago if you remember. In Classic, he is not very fond of Phoenix Wars. He doesn't embrace it anywhere near as much as Showtime and Hero, for example. So even though it is Stargate versus Stargate, and even though we should be seeing Phoenixes, there's a very high chance that Classic deviates and throws down a Twilight Council and switches into Blink Stalkers. Very high chance of that happening. Whether or not he does, I mean, we'll see. Oracle first. Ooh, this is a bold move. MaxPax, he saw the Stargate. Do we take the risk? We do not. So, risky move here by MaxPax going Oracle first, despite knowing that his opponent did go for a Stargate. This is a big gamble here at a MaxPax. And we'll see if it pays off. Technically, if Classic can cash the Oracle first with the Phoenix, then Classic will come out ahead. But the Oracle's moving out, and Classic is not aware that it's Oracle first. In his mind, it could just be Phoenixes. Classic is waiting in his main. Battery at the natural. Classic will have time to react. Ooh, an F-second two-shot though. Sorry, they can one-shot. Here gets one. The Oracle does not dive in after the Phoenixes are revealed. Good call. It does commit. And MaxPax second Stargate. There we go. Second Stargate's on the way, so MaxPax is going into double Stargate mass Phoenix production. Meanwhile, Classic, does he also go for the second Stargate, or do we go into something different? He just scouted the main base. He did not see the second Stargate. He's not aware. So there's going to be a bigger Phoenix power spike here for MaxPax. It's going to hit earlier. Oracle into the main base, finds damage. Yeah, we just see Classic out of position. 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. Very nice damage. Classic did have the bit of economy, and this does help equalize. As Classic does move out. Classic does have a slight Phoenix lead, and there it is. We spoke about it at the beginning of the game. It's very common for Classic to do this. Bam, mass switch into Blink Stalker. It's very difficult to pull this off, but this is very much so like a Classic special. Like, he's known for this style. Is getting out of Phoenix Wars and trying to switch into Blink Stalkers, and this often has mixed success. Like, it's very difficult to pull off. We have Stalker support as well. Oh my god. Here we have the Stalker. Phoenix count is even. Battery will help. Yeah, the battery is done, and Classic has to respect that battery. Classic, he still didn't scout the second Stargate, but he has to get out of here. He needs to leave before being overwhelmed. Classic pulls away. Blink is in production. Blink, Forge, extra gateways. And again, this can work, but only if MaxPax is passive, and he's not being passive. Yeah, Max actually moves out. He's punishing, and I believe MaxPax, he should have the advantage here. Classic does catch some reinforcements, so okay, not bad. And gets our Phoenix. But MaxPax dives into the main base, getting into the economy. Probe's going to be going down. This is some heavy damage here for Classic. And he gets fully scouted. MaxPax knows. Yeah, he's fully aware. Both players using workers though. And what is MaxPax's response? Immortal production. That's what he needs here. Immortals. With a high enough immortal count, he'll be fine against Stalkers. There's the recall back home. Classic, he needs to leave. Oh no, he gets caught. He's getting. Oh, it's gonna be close. He's getting caught out. Losing one. Yeah, losing one, losing two. Massive pickoffs, massive catch. Losing up to 3 Phoenixes. Classic will caught with his pants down. But here come the Stalker reinforcements though. Oh my god. Still no blink. Still no blink. If blink was done, that would have been what? 3 Phoenixes going down. That would have been huge. Blink is done in 10 seconds. Classic is committed. The longer this game goes on, the more mortals there are going to be. The harder it's going to be here for Classic. So he is all in. I mean, I say that he does have a third behind this, but he's committed. Blinks into the main. Depowers the Stargates. It doesn't really matter too much. Trades with the Phoenixes. Gets 1, 2, 3 Phoenixes. The Immortal has arrived. He has to get out of here. He's got to leave. Oh, he can't leave. No. He's forced to engage. Trying to hold his own. And now forced out of the main base. That was how many? That was 5 Stalkers getting picked off. Stargates were not depowered. Going into Void Ray, so Immortal Void Ray here. Everything anti-Stalker. Now, Classic still has a lot to work with. He still has potential. But now there's soon going to be 2 Immortals. Gets half a Phoenix. Behind this, transitioning into charge lots. Meanwhile, double Void Ray production out of MaxPax. Again, this is just pure anti-Stalker. Mass Void Ray and Immortal. MaxPax going for the Ninja base as well. Let's go. Does go for the Ninja expand. Phoenixes, they bust in. Classic out of position. And it's go time. Again, Phoenixes, they reel themselves across the map. We're going for the base trade. We're going across the map. Can we break through to Immortals though? No, they cannot. 2 Immortals and 2 Void Rays. Classic cannot break this. Now, one of the other reasons why Classic is not pushing in is because he believes he's further ahead than he is. There is still a 3rd base on the way. Classic believes there isn't. Oof. As he bleeds out 10 more probes. Fleet Beacon is on the way. We can go into Flux Veins. Into Void Ray speed. Here come the reinforcements. Again, going to Mass Zealot and Archon. Classic should deny this expansion, but remember, this base is not anywhere near as impactful. As Phoenixes, they find 14 probe kills. He comes in. Buys the base. We need more than that. As you can see, MaxPax building up his death bull of an army. Classic is checking the vertical 3rd. Do you see? He did. He sees. Yeah, he sees the Ninja base, and with this, he will contain MaxPax. Big move here from Classic. Denies the expansion. And MaxPax now is in trouble. Now he's in trouble because now he's down to half the base count. Classic getting a 4th. Getting a 4th expansion. Classic maxing out. He's on the way. Let's see, and he rotates over it. Does rotate. We'll see if we can deny the expansion. Kills the battery. Does force cancel the other. Yeah, denies the expansion. This is Classic's win condition. Just deny the base over and over again. Deny the expand. And Classic has this, 100%. He does have this. Still bleeding our probes. Oh, we have the mothership actually. Okay. Cloak is activated. Does activate Cloak. The army has to get the hell out of here. MaxPax is holding on. Flux Veins on the way. Storm is an interesting choice. I think I'd prefer just a higher Archon count, to be honest, but sure, okay. Storm is a rare side against Protoss, and it helps a little bit, I suppose. I guess. I mean, Void Rays are prone to stacking, that is true. Classic again does commit. Storm is done. Storm is not done. We're gonna push in. We have how many Void Rays? 11. 11 Void Rays. But against this many Archons, I'll be honest, I don't see the Void Rays breaking through this. There's just so many Archons. Once they get within range, they can go to town. There we go. Yeah, we do commit in. Cloak is activated. The first Storm does zone. Just zoning Storm. Oh. And another Storm once again zoning away. As I mentioned before, the army is prone to stacking. That's a little Stalkers going down. But he's slowly gaining ground. Yeah, another massive. Jesus, the Storms are crazy. They punish the Void Raid so much. Yeah, Prismatic Alignment is activated. Archons, they move in. Do we break through the Void Rays? And we're down to 3. Down to 3. Down to 2. Barely breaks through the Void Rays. Do we have enough Stalkers? We do. Yeah, there are enough Stalkers. GG gets called and Classic overwhelms. Classic takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth here. Again, Classic, he is known for switching out of Phoenix Wars into Mass Wing Stalker. He was able to get away with it. Yes, he was losing a bunch of workers, but he was able to contain MaxPax. Contain him on 2 bases, ensure that he just could not expand, could not get a 3rd base, had the greater economy, larger army, better tech. GG. GG, well played. Hey. Classic takes a lead. I see Sneaky Snake in the chat. Why, the mute is OP now, or is this talk being overblown? What are you referring to? What? Are you referring to the PTR? I haven't heard anyone. I mean, I don't check Reddit, so I don't know if there's something weird happening on Reddit. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. Whew. And again, Classic takes the lead, but that was a very unique game, just because we did have the initial Phoenix opener. We'll see if we can, if our series leads us there again, or if we go into a different direction. As game 2 is going to be on Tourmaline, a much smaller map in the map pool, shorter resistance by ground. We do expect to see hyper aggression in the early game, early all-ins. 1-base all-ins are much more common on Tourmaline, and that's what we expect. We'll see if we get there. Let's go. The new target acquisition buff. Oh, so you are referring to the PTR. I mean, that does help mutas. That is true. So they're going to be better. That is true. Does it make them OP? No. like what we're referring to here is like the ability of mutas when they go in, like their glaives bouncing and automatically targeting, like say a High Templar over like a Zealot or over like a Stalker or something like that. So there's potential to maybe get a little bit more damage that way. So it is better in that sense. But when you're like engaging with an army like that, you're gonna be attacking and targeting High Templar anyway. So it is a buff. I don't think anyone's calling it OP. I don't think I've heard anyone say that. But they are going to be better for sure. Better by much? I don't think so. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself, the green Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. Let us go. I think what I should say though, regarding anything in the PTR is that, I mean, we just have to wait and see when it comes to more games on the PTR. I'll be honest, we've casted a couple of PTR tournaments and I have yet to experience any muta play. The games have not gotten there, so I can't say with certainty, to be fair, like how impactful that's going to be, because I haven't necessarily seen that dynamic with the new Mutalisk. I can't imagine it is going to be stronger, that is true. I can't imagine it'll be too much better though, but we'll wait and see when it comes to seeing more games played and more situations with the new Mutalisk. But otherwise, Classic going for the proxy, going for the one-base all-in. No surprises here, as you mentioned. Tourmaline is a very small map, does favor aggression, waiting for the Cybercore, and now we can go for our proxy across the map. We're expecting Robo, but we'll keep an eye on Classic. Gateway, here to go Warp Gate first. So Warp Gate first into a proxy gateway across the map. Meanwhile, MaxPax going for his own 2-gate opener. Okay, this is a rare sight. If you know anything about MaxPax, 2-gate openers are insanely rare. This is a 2-gate opener into a Robo. Hyper safe play out of MaxPax. And Classic goes up the ramp. He sees lack of expand. He sees the 2-gate opener as well. And I do have to favor MaxPax in this position. This is just hyper safe play out of our blue Protoss player, and very rare play as well. Again, to see that MaxPax is forced to play 2-gate, I mean, again, like, this is almost never seen, and he's even going for a one-base all-in. Let's go. MaxPax, you know what he's playing like? He's playing like Classic. He's playing like Hero. He's playing like a Protoss player. Let's go. Let's go. He's learning, papi. So one base all in out of MaxPax, and I do favor MaxPax in this kind of position when it comes to our builds of choice. Classic going to be down in tech. Is this just a build order win? Assuming that Classic doesn't expand. Okay, he's expanding. But I don't know if Classic can stop this. Not with that Nexus. The issue here is that Classic doesn't know there's a Robo, right? Classic doesn't know how committed MaxPax is. In his mind, it could be a Stargate. Yeah, Nexus on the way, so late tech, late Twilight Council, Robo, Stargate. Classic is in trouble. Yeah, MaxPax, he reveals his Immortal. He reveals. Gets one Stalker so far. Keeps on pushing. Classic has to get the hell out of here. He can try to, there we go, trigger the shields. Triggers the shields. He does not catch the Immortal though. The Immortal slips away. Classic does have the high ground, free damage. Getting free damage. We're trying to come in from behind. Can we get on top of the Immortal though? Does get low. But MaxPax, yeah, with juggling, he should take the fight, and he will. MaxPax is overwhelming, catching out the proxy gateway. Pylon goes down, gateway gets denied. The Stargate's on the way back at home, but the Stargate is so late. Such a late Stargate. And MaxPax, he snowballs out of control. Again, as I mentioned, just build it or win. Like this. and partially because Classic did not scout the main, right? He didn't scout the main base. He was not aware as to what was going on. And also, it's quite rare to see MaxPax go 2-gate as an opener, so I don't blame Classic for this kind of position, but yeah, he got caught out. He got caught, papi. Nice force fields. 1, 2 dead stalkers. Down to 5. Batteries will help, but that's what the immortal's for. And just powering through that army. Batteries are almost out of energy. Some messy juggling at a MaxPax, but he should still break through. As here come the reinforcements, here come the war pins. Batteries are now a non-factor. And we have a series. We have a back and forth. GG gets called. MaxPax takes game number 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. A build loader win here from MaxPax, but I should also emphasize that it's just a really rare sight to see MaxPax go 2-gate. Very, very rare to see that. So Classic, I'm sure, was completely caught off guard by the idea of MaxPax opening up 2-gate, but this does make sense on Tourmaline specifically because this map favors aggression so much. Going for a 2-gate opener and responding with a robo on 1 base as well makes plenty of sense. So a nice kind of mind game win there from MaxPax. GG. He metagames, fam. Does metagame, and now we're getting to game number 3. Let's go. We're going to be jumping into Title Citadel to see who takes the lead in the series. Jumping into Title. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself. We have the Danish Protoss tying up the series 1-1 in that last game, showcasing that he can play 2 gates. It is MaxPax. I'm sure that'll be the only time we see it in this series, but he showed it. At spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss player representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. I have an assignment due tomorrow and I haven't started yet. Start the assignment. What are you doing? Get out of here. How many games are left? This is a best of 5. Best of 5. This is the final series. Potentially 2 or 3 games left, depending on whether we go all the way to the ace match. 2 or 3 games. Whether we go the distance or not. As now we do open up. 2-gate opener out of Classic. Oh, 2-gate opener, 2 games. MaxPax, he's been broken. Let's go. MaxPax no longer going for the MaxPax opener. 2-gate opener, 2 games in a row. Okay, MaxPax, you have my attention. You have my attention here. This would be a very strong setup against a proxy, but as we can see, there is no proxy. MaxPax scouts across the map. Classic does hide his second pylon inside of the main, so cheeky moves here by Classic. Very cheeky. MaxPax, he should check just in case, but we'll see. Otherwise, this might force an overreaction. As the Cybercore is done, is MaxPax tempted to go for the Robo? Does spot the 3rd pylon. And MaxPax, no fear, he sets up on the low ground. And no fear, Classic confirms the 2-gate opener. Stargate before expand. And what's important, do you know what Classic just did? He scouted and he responds with his own Stargate. So Classic should be opening up Phoenixes. And we might end up in Phoenix Wars again. But the goal here, the point is that MaxPax doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know that there's a Stargate back at home. So MaxPax should open up Oracle instead. And that would be a builder, it'd be a better start, a stronger start for Classic. Assuming he catches the Oracle. That's the assumption. If he misses it, then MaxPax can take a lead. And Classic knows that there's a very high chance that an Oracle is coming. I'd have to say threat in the shade. But no kills. Kills, no pickups. There's that Oracle first, as we mentioned, and there's a Phoenix first out of Classic. And again, it's on Classic to catch out that Oracle. Can he catch him? Can he catch him out? Adept's ready for a backstab. Is going to be a Void Ray after the Oracle as well. I mean, again, MaxPax still doesn't... He might still think it's an all-in. He still doesn't know what's going on. So misread out of MaxPax. MaxPax will not confirm that there is a base. There's no all-in. Phoenixes, they reveal themselves and they catch out the first Oracle. And do we recall in time? Ooh, dude, does not recall in time. Waves of a recall with that. Phoenix production has begun back at home, but Phoenix production is heavily delayed. He starts a second Oracle. He knows it's too late. He knows it's too late to go into Phoenixes. Oh no, Adepts, they bust into the main. Probes are going to be going down. Critical damage, getting up to 1, 2, up to 3 probes. Yeah, Adeptry on the low ground as well. Oh, getting up to 4 probe kills. 5 even. Aye, 5, 6? 5, okay. 5 probes going down. MaxPax is hurting. Did Classic spot the Oracle? He did. So he knows that a second Oracle is coming. Oh, wait. Yeah. He's aware. So you can see Classic is on patrol. Looking for the Oracle. And likewise, he's going for that switch into Blink Stalkers, which again, Classic is known for. We brought this up previously in the series when we initially saw the Phoenix Wars out of Classic. He's very fond of switching out of Phoenix Wars and bam into Blink Stalkers to the point where he has faster Blink than MaxPax, which is crazy. Phoenixes, they do fan outs. Finds the Oracle. Yeah, it does find him. The Phoenixes, they race back home, but is it too late? Stalker's also in position. Recall should be on cooldown, and that is going to be 2 Oracles going down for what? For 3? 4 probes? I mean, there's damage being done at the natural. Okay. 5 probes. The Oracle did serve as a distraction. Decent damage. MaxPax takes a worker lead, but tech-wise is behind. As MaxPax does set up a proxy across the map. This was a messy defense out of Classic. True. Messy defense. Classic is being active. Perks in, spots all the Stalkers, confirming that it is going to be a Blink transition. Oh. Oh, when behind, Dark Shrine. I do like this. Dark Shrine all the way for MaxPax. Unfortunately, there's already a robo. There's already a detection. Already? Dark Shrine, though, is almost done, and that proxy is getting up and running. The DCs are coming. They're coming. The Observer is stationed here at the natural, though, so we'll see if it stays here. Things as they go further in. Losing 1? Not losing any, actually. That's a lot of probes going down, getting up to 6 probe kills. And MaxPax, he commits across the map. He commits. He's coming. Batteries are on the way. No battery at the natural, which is a concern. Dark Templar, they do waddle in. Classic does confirm. Classic is in position, more or less, as he rotates to the third base. Rotates to the third. Oh, it does go for the dive. Yeah, massive dive. Phoenixes, they do lift as well, and Classic, he should overwhelm. I say that I believe there are more Stalkers for MaxPax. Yeah, there are slightly more. And we're fighting without batteries. Fighting without batteries here. It's a very close fight. We have some reinforcements on the way. But MaxPax is overwhelming. Again, Classic, he was just a little bit too cavalier here. Yeah, Classic, he needs more reinforcements. He needs more weapons. As I mentioned, like, lack of battery at the natural was very, very greedy. Very greedy here from Classic. To the point where he might be broken. It might be too much. Oof. Yeah, still close here. MaxPax still has the lead. Just barely. But Classic has the high ground. The Immortal has arrived. Whew, and Classic holds. Hey, Classic, he does barely hold on. He gets away with a better economy. MaxPax's own base is only halfway done. MaxPax falling further behind. That was it. Like, that was his moment. There was a small window in time here where it was like almost 2 minutes of time where MaxPax had the larger army. Not anymore. Now he's down in army. Now he's down in economy. I do like this rotation. As MaxPax does get a free Phoenix. Oh, not quite. Gets a pylon. Gets a pylon. Doesn't quite catch a Phoenix. But again, some okay damage here in favor of MaxPax. Did bleed out a lot of Stalkers though. And this game is looking dire for MaxPax. DTs, they weren't worth it either, right? That was kind of dead supply. Or dead tech. We can always try to go in with more Dark Templar. Now they're stuck with Stalkers. Limited gas income. Classic does give chase. There's not a weather proxy yet. Oof. The punishing though. Yeah, some crazy punishing does finally confirm the proxy as well. At the same time, it updates shade into the mineral line. Stalkers are in position. Nice control out of Classic. Pulls away in time. Again, Classic is holding. The Oracle here is another form of desperation, another form of attempted damage across the map. And Classic should soon move out, and he does. There's not much to stop him. Considering the quality of the army, referring to the Immortals, referring to the economy, the size of the army. Classic now up in Stalkers. Does put the bat. Ooh. Prism does go down. Nice pick up. Nice pick up at a MaxPax that may scare Classic away. As he has to rebuild that War Prism. Miscontrol at a Classic. At the same time, the Oracle moves out. Has potential to catch transferring workers. Ooh. Let's cancel on the 4th base. The Oracle moves in. Nothing at home to defend. Classic. Getting messy. Ah, but he has reinforcements. Yeah, he has weapons available. Oof. Catching at the Oracle. Jesus. Yo, Classic, we gotta look after our War Prisms. The first thing to go down again. God damn it. Prism goes down, no reinforcements. Once again, that may scare Classic off. And it does. As he has to rebuild the Prism for the 3rd time. Like, MaxPax should be dead here. Like, Classic should just be able to aim move in. But every single time, the first thing to go down is the Prism. So he's forced back home. Feels War Prism, man. Classic, look after your boy back. Look after him. DT rolls in. Look after your Prism. Ah. There we go. 3rd Prism. Let's go. This time, let's not aim move in. At the same time, Zelarami will distract. Classic turns around, even recalls back home. Once again, is delayed. This is giving MaxPax a lot of time, and due to the recall, MaxPax, he can strike the 4th. Yeah, Classic out of position. Racing back over. It does try to race back. This expansion may just go down. And nice pick up for the Nexus. The Prism just died. It died again, by the way. The Prism just aimed into the... Classic. Por favor. The 3rd Prism goes down. We got a 4th Prism on the way. We're supply blocked. Classic is losing his lead, by the way. He just lost 11 workers. He just lost his Prism again. Now down in economy. There's a recall. Classic, we need to find some damage soon. 4th time's the charm. God damn it. As Classic is still finding a way in. And pushing it on both fronts, winning on both fronts as well. Batteries out of energy. The Immortal's going to be focused down. Nice focus right here by MaxPax. Does catch the Immortal, but he will lose the 4th. Yeah, the 4th base is broken. Reinforcements, they take a long time to get across the map. Here comes the 4th prism. It's coming. Do we get up to 5 prisms? Do we? As Classic does overwhelm coming from behind, and finally he breaks through the main army. Even without a War Prism, he can just push through. GG gets called, and Classic takes a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Once again, just a very rough start for MaxPax, winding it all the way back. MaxPax, he had almost a build order loss. I don't know if I want to go that far, but if you recall, essentially, MaxPax, he didn't scout the second pylon. He didn't know what was going on. He went for a Stargate opener, but he didn't see what his opponent was up to. Meanwhile, Classic did, so Classic went for a Stargate opener himself into Phoenixes. With that, he was able to hard counter the Oracle. We saw that MaxPax he went for a Void Ray after the Oracle as well, so even a worse follow-up. So he was expecting hyper aggression. He was expecting a proxy or a robo-based opener, not a Stargate. And when it came to the openers, MaxPax fell behind. He fell behind from the beginning, and he never quite recovered. GG. As he bled out a lot of workers, he was down in tech, behind in blink. We did mention, of course, that MaxPax had one strong moment in this game, and that's when he pushed out on 3 bases, and when he moved out with a heavier Stalker count to try to kill Classic. And he was forcing his way up the ramp. He was out trading, actually. Like, he was overwhelming, but it lasted too long. It took too long. In the end, Classic was able to reinforce, build up his Stalker counts, get his Immortal, and after that defense, it was more or less smooth sailings from Classic. I say more or less because he just kept losing his War Prism, and that just delayed him for quite some time. But GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 4. Classic, he is 1 game away from claiming the series. We'll see if MaxPax can force the ace match. Let's go. Can he force it? As we jump into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Representing Sidestorm Gaming down in the series. Can he bounce back? Can he force game 5? It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. Oh. Representing Protoss Pro, it is a Classic. Let's go. Let us go. Why didn't Protoss invent the Darker Templar? I mean, technically, isn't that like a Tal'Darim Dark Templar? Would that count as a Darker Templar? Maybe. Aye. So settling into our game. So far, we've had 2 games so far in a row of MaxPax going for 2 gate openers. We'll see if that trend continues as we load into Ruby Rock. Smaller map in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. It would make sense to go for a 2 gate opener, but at the same time, MaxPax has had mixed success with it. Yeah, let's go. 2 gate opener. MaxPax, he's playing like a Protoss player. It's crazy. He's playing like everyone else. I mean, again, I feel like you have to on these smaller maps. I appreciate that MaxPax, he isn't being stubborn and he doesn't try to go for the MaxPax opener on these more aggressive maps. We appreciate it. Oh, hello. And Classic setting up for the proxy, but as we mentioned, MaxPax is not being greedy. He's not being greedy. It's a bit of a risk, a bit of a gamble. Classic is assuming that, hey, 2 games in a row, you went for a 2 gate opener. No shot you go for it 3 games in a row, right? No shot. Well, the answer is yes. Waiting for the Cybercore. Is a prime location for a Proxy Robo. Yep, Proxy Robo 1 base all in, and MaxPax, does he probe scout? He does. Yeah, MaxPax, he does probe scout, he does confirm that a pilot is missing, and does MaxPax blindly go for a defensive Robo? Oh, he's setting up on the low ground. This is better for Classic. MaxPax, he scouts here on the top side. He so far is not rallied in. He does go for a Stargate opener. That's okay. He can make a Void Ray, he can make a Phoenix. It's okay. Classic, he's aware, he does confirm. 2 gate into Stargate. So Classic should eventually get a battery in the mineral line. And here comes the Prism, here comes the all-in. As is that 3rd gateway, so we have confirmation that Classic is 1 base all-in. MaxPax expands, ooh, blindly as well. Again, MaxPax, he has not found the pylon, he doesn't know what's going on. MaxPax is taking a big risk here. And this is ideal for Classic. This is ideal. Basically, Classic, he has not scattered what's going on, he does not know, but he's just gambling. He's just gambling and hoping that Classic is not going for an all-in. Throwing down another battery. Classic has recognized that this is an all. Yeah, he now knows. I was like, okay, let's go. he's gonna try to make a stand. Now, the scary thing about a proxy Robo, especially War Prism first, is that Classic, he can strike the natural, which is where we have 3 batteries, or he can lift and rotate into the main instead, where there are 0 batteries to defend. That's the issue here. Classic moves in. There's 3 batteries. Classic gonna break this. He's gonna try. And now he sees. Does spoil the batteries. Does have some nice juggling though. True. Nice juggling, but he cannot break through this. And Stalkers, they hold their own. Classic, he gambled himself. Oh my god, the juggling though. The control. He did burn through a lot of energy. That is true. Now there's a Void Ray. Yeah, now there's a Void Ray. Again, Classic, he chose to blindly commit into the natural. And this is looking better for MaxPax. MaxPax now getting up to 4 batteries and 2 Void Rays. I do like the battery in the main, just in case. Looking good for MaxPax. Looking good. Ooh, and no shot, we back up and expand. Classic. The longer this goes on, the better it is for MaxPax, by the way. As Classic turns around, picking up the Stalker. Getting whatever he can. And it's looking rough. Like, I'll be honest, like, I don't see this army of Classic breaking 5 batteries. That's 5 shield batteries. That's insane. 5 batteries and 2 Void Rays. Classic, now he does threaten to dive into the main, but I think it's too late at this point. Yeah, he's going to still push into the natural. We'll see if he can. I think best case scenario, he baits the army a little bit further out, and then he can engage without some of the batteries affecting this fight. But Classic should not be baited. Should not be baited. So far, does lock him in. Oof. Oh my god, the punish is real. Very nice force fields. Force fields, they lock down the Stalkers. That was what? That was 3 Stalkers going down. Down to 13. Voids are being pulled. Classic looking for a better angle. But again, these Voiders are not being broken. Yeah, they're not being broken. One Voider finally goes down, but Classic gets shut down. MaxPax holds. MaxPax, he does hold on. Again, Classic with a big risk early on. GG, and we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 5. Once again, winding it back, Classic, he had the option to go into the main base early on, at the very beginning. He had the option to, he chose to push into the natural and commit. To be fair, he didn't know how many batteries there were, and he slowly found that out. Like, initially he pushed in, he saw like the energy from one of the batteries. He's like, oh, there's only 1 battery. Kept pushing. Oh, actually there's 2 batteries. Kept pushing. Ah, there's 3. And he just had so much wasted DPS at that natural base. He sustained a lot of hull damage, and from that moment on, that was game. That was game then and there. MaxPax, he successfully held. He baited Classic into pushing into 3 batteries, and with that, GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going all the way to the ace match. Getting to the ace match, we're going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. So far, we've had 2 gate openers at a MaxPax 3 games in a row. Do we go for all 4? Do we keep going? Does he keep it up? As spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Forcing the ace match, bringing us back from the brink. He was down 2-0, by the way. Winning 2 games in a row. It is MaxPax. Oh wait, no, sorry, we had a back and forth. My apologies. Had a back and forth. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss Virtus Pro. It is classic. But we have had that back and forth. First classic, then MaxPax, classic, then MaxPax once again. Technically, it is classic's turn to win. That is true. But I'm curious about the opener itself. We are loading into 10,000 feet. So this is a much more difficult map to go for, say, Proxy Robo into Prism on. So are we tempted to go for the gate expand? Second gas. Does get a second gas, guys. It looks like a 2-gate opener. There's the second gateway for Classic. Ah, no second gateway for MaxPax. Okay, we're going back to basics here. Gate, Cyber, Expand. Greedy build out of MaxPax. This would have been the ideal position for Classic to 1-base all in. And he's going for a fake pylon. Yeah, fake pylon, fake proxy out of Classic. I mean, this is better than not, right? This is better than just going for a standard opener, given the context of the entire series. Let's go for the pylon. Based on the rally here, based on the patrol, we might still go for a proxy Stargate at least, but not a robo. It's too far away. Warp gate does begin. Stargate open out of MaxPax. Stargate before Nexus. Do we go for a third gateway? Nah, there goes Stargate. Gonna be a later Stargate here by Classic. Later Stargate. MaxPax still searching for the pylon. Again, MaxPax, he knows that the pylon is missing. MaxPax not afraid to expand. And who do we favor here? So MaxPax does have the faster tech, does have the faster Stargate, and of course the faster expansion as well. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Classic to get some damage done. Classic is not all in, but he does need to find damage to equalize. Otherwise, he's just playing from behind. So it's on the Adepts and it's on the initial Oracle. On the Oracle. The Oracle does move out. Classic does open Phoenix first. Okay. Does go Phoenix first. We've been here before, but if we can catch out the first Oracle, then Classic will take a lead. But he does have to catch the Oracle.
Your probes are under attack.
And he will. Yeah, massive catch. I believe we can recall in time. It's only 2 Phoenixes, so recall will complete. We need 3 Phoenixes to kill the Oracle in time. So at least MaxPax does keep it alive. Does keep the Oracle alive. Shading into the main. Doesn't find much damage. Behind this we do have once again our Twilight Council into Blink transition. We've seen this now 3 times in this series, going Phoenix into Blink. For the 3rd time. And this time MaxPax also does go for his own transition, but it's going to be slightly later as well, but also working towards Blink Stalkers. The Oracle moves out for a second time, still looking for some damage. Stalker's in position at the natural. Phoenixes as well. Who hits who? Yeah, the Oracle gets shut down. Gets 3 probes though. Gets 3 probes. So at least has a bit of a trade and somewhat pays for itself. It's still a better trade for Classic, but yeah, at least MaxPax gets something. Okay, Classic the first to expand. Takes his 3rd base. At the same time, remember, Classic, he does have the larger Stalker army. Slightly. Proxy Pylon as well. MaxPax, he moves out. As he moves out, we have Classic moving in. He wants the 4th, and sorry, the 3rd, and he's going to get it. He's getting a lot of damage. Meanwhile, MaxPax does turn back around. Better engagement from MaxPax. He does get him with the first Phoenix. Oof. Yeah, 1 Phoenix goes down. They do end up trading here. Okay, better reinforcements for Classic. Does push in, and Blink will finish in time in the middle of this fight. Blink will finish in the middle. Classic claiming his own 3rd. Does force a cancel. Better economy for Classic. And he keeps reinforcing. Does keep warping in. Blink is done in 3 seconds. And we have to make use of it. That window is small. It's a small window here, and MaxPax, he does catch up. So missed opportunity. In the end, we commit in. Classic does he blink forward. He's tempted. Oof. We'll lose a Phoenix. There we go. Blinks forward. He gets 2 Stalkers in the process. Just the 1. Clutch moves there by MaxPax. Yeah, the Phoenix does tank. Classic does have a slight edge here. Yeah, he's got more HP. Better concave as well. Better fight for Classic. MaxPax has to pull the boys. Yeah, forced to pull the boys. Desperation here by MaxPax. Nice target firing out of Classic. Does target fire. He still has the faster 3rd. And MaxPax is falling further behind. He's falling further behind here. Again, Classic, you can't beat him at his own game. That blink transition out to Phoenixes. That's where Classic thrives. Bad. True. Is where he thrives. He was able to be the aggressor this game. 1 more volley. That's a cancel. He could afford to tank extra shots. He could afford it. Once again, more boys being pulled. MaxPax cannot fight head on just with pure Stalkers. And he'll bleed out even more probes. And with reinforcements coming in, Classic, he has done it. He has broken MaxPax. He has done it. Still kiting back. And behind this, just freely mining. Just freely mining from his own 3rd. Again, better economy, better army, or larger army, I should say. MaxPax trying to hold his own, doing what he can. Down to 9 Stalkers. Does catch 1. Oh, they trade. They trade 1 to 1. They trade 1 to 2. Once again, better trade for Classic. MaxPax, he warps in across the map, hoping for some damage. He might find some damage here if we don't have a defensive warp in. MaxPax doing what he can, but GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Classic will claim the series 3-2, becoming the WardiTV Monday number 83 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Classic, he will claim the series, but a shout to MaxPax. Like, usually matches, especially in current StarCraft and current era, like, they're a little bit more in favor of Classic and Hero. So to see MaxPax go all the way to the ace match was very impressive. Not just that, but really cool to see MaxPax indulging in and embracing 2 gate openers. If you know anything about MaxPax, for like a solid 3 to 4 years, MaxPax, he never went for 2 gate openers. It was just never seen. But in recent times, the quote-unquote MaxPax opener has been nerfed, is weaker than what it once was. So we do see here that on specific, especially smaller maps, MaxPax has been forced to go into 2 gate openers, into quote-unquote like standard openers and playing like everyone else, instead of cutting corners like he used to. So he's been forced to adjust, forced to adapt to the meta, and was able to have some success with it. He was able to have a lot of success actually going for those 2-gate openers and being able to punish Classic for blindly going for all-ins and punish some of the aggression as well, and have that back and forth. GG. GG, well played. So again, look forward to see how MaxPax's PvP improves and evolves over time, of course, as always. Otherwise, congratulations to Classic for claiming the series. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Ooh, and that does wrap up our morning broadcast. Quickly catching up with the rest of the bracket here. Let's go. I say bracket, catching up with the rest of the schedule. We just wrapped up with the morning broadcast of the WardiTV Monday. Later on tonight, this evening, we're going to be live with Kung Fu Cup. We're going to be covering Kung Fu Cup as well. We have some more WardiTV action tomorrow morning, then some StarCraft Evolution League on Saturday, and some GSL on Sunday. That is going to be the live cast of the GSL semifinals and grand finals. That is this weekend. Let's go. That is going to be this weekend. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. If you're looking at this schedule being like, hold on, why are there so many Wardy casts this week? It's because we do have a backlog of Wardy casts because of all the GSL and RSL and our own tournaments. There's just been a lot of StarCraft going on recently. We just have not had the time to follow the WardiTV events as often as we do. So we have a backlog. We have a backlog of replays and a backlog of tournament broadcasts. So we're catching up. And the goal is to catch up in time for the patch to go live, ideally. So we can just kind of like wrap up all the current patch tournaments before the patch goes live and before we move on into the next kind of phase of StarCraft. That's the hope, at least. That's the hope. So we still have a backlog of Brazilian tournaments, of Wardy events, and of StarCraft Evolution League as well, but we're slowly catching up. And again, we have the rest of our weekly schedule. We'll see you guys later on tonight. That's going to be in around 8 hours time. Sorry, 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live with Kung Fu Cup, or 24 hours for some more WardiTV action. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the support. We appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and look forward to GSL this weekend, and also Maestros of the game. True. Maestros is also ongoing. We also have to eventually have to catch up with Maestros and with Home Story Cup as well. We'll get around to it eventually, Pappy, eventually. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. You can also support us if you wish via following us on all the socials, !socials in the chat, and you can also follow us via all of the by Patreon. If you want to support us monetarily, you can do so via the Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. So if you want to support the Sparkling Tunic Cup, the Duckling Open, and the Swan Open, all funded via Patreon. So if you wish, links are there. You can support us. You can support the tournament scene. Otherwise, you can also donate as well. We did recently have a bit of a bunny scare, have some pet bunnies, and we did have to rush to the hospital last week. That's why we did cast a little bit less. Sorry, that's why we did not cast the RSL finals. I do apologize. We did not cast the RSL finals just because otherwise, that there were other IRL things going on. So if you want to help us out, you can do so there as well. Otherwise, thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. And we'll see you guys next time. See you next time. Until then, ciao. Papi, ciao. Hasta luego.